Hey, 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 good morning. Good morning. It is Friday. This is Ask the Experts. And I don't know if you see anything wrong with this picture. If you look at my background and you look at the background of Mr. Roland Bradley and Mr. Jeff Witt, it's different. You know why? Because they are at the wonderful Last Chance weekend, and I am not. How did I miss the memo? How did I not get invited? Somebody didn't put me in their luggage. I don't understand what happened, but it's all good. I am sending good vibes and love. And you all, please be in prayer for the couples this weekend who are there for Last Chance weekend and who are there really to have a breakthrough in their relationship. So, how are you feeling today, Jeff?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, wait.
All right, Mr. Roland, how are you feeling today, sir?
I am doing excellent. How are you doing, Lakeisha?
I am great. I am great. So they say great minds think alike. Apparently, Jeff and I have great minds because we in red today. We had. I don't know how you missed the memo, Roland, but
I don't know either, but it's okay. We all love. Red is for the hearts, so I could feel the love flowing. So it's all good.
That's right. That's what it is. So, listen, today is Ask the Experts, and you know what that means. The experts can't answer questions if you don't ask any. And as of right now, we don't have any questions. So, this will be the shortest Ask the Experts ever if you don't drop some questions up in here. But I do want to say good morning, Vashawn. Hello, Reginald and Christina and Jackie. Thank you for posting where you are streaming from and saying good morning. Good morning to you. So, we're going to take a break. We're going to give you an opportunity to be able to put your questions in here so we can drop some of this wisdom on you. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Get your questions in the chat. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Apparently, you actually follow directions. In one respect, you didn't go anywhere. You're still here. But in another respect, you did not follow the instructions that we asked most of you, and you didn't drop any questions. But I do want to say, April Kirk, thank you. You were one who followed directions. You said, can someone just stop an addiction to porn or looking at websites just because they got caught by their spouse acting out their fantasy? Jeff, to me, this has your name all over it, not because you watch porn, but because this is something that I've heard you address many, many times before talking about addiction. So what you
So
got for them?
I'm trying not to get confused completely by the question because the last part's throwing me off a little bit. Caught by their spouse acting out their fantasy. Uh, Acting out their fantasy with you? Or Like this is a little bit much. But what I do know is someone can stop their addiction to porn from getting caught. That's true. If they truly feel remorse in their heart, and it should be something that if that is happening, it opens up and leads to a conversation, right? Something that what is going on that's missing. Sometimes it's just lust and addiction, and it's truly an addiction. But sometimes there's a seeking of something that's missing, and porn's never going to satisfy that. No matter what the fantasy is, the truth of the matter is, uh, really, Keisha, you're the expert on the sex stuff. But at the end of the day, porn is never going to be satisfying because it's going to create and it's going to rewire the brain to look for things that aren't truly fulfilling, right? Now, this has to do with music, but I would imagine it's the same for acting and especially in that kind of way, that the sense that the people are actually having when they create music, right? The feeling that they have is articulated in that sound and it causes a change in the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to think about porn for a second. Do you think any of those people are passionate or in love with the person that they're doing anything with?
Right.
Probably not. So what we're doing is we're getting the physical urge without the emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
And when those two things don't come together, love can't be present. And so if you become addicted to the lower base level of sex, which makes you look different than an animal, then you may be negating the most pleasurable part of sex, which is the connection with your spouse, the connection with that love that's created between it. And I know that's what we're all truly yearning for.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe that getting caught can create and open up a window to having conversations for connection. Because I don't care if you're into all the weird stuff and hanging from the ceiling, whatever you're into. At the end of the day, there's nothing like that connection when you're truly in love. There's nothing that matches that. And learning how to revive that. Everybody needs to check out Keisha's show. But when you can learn how to revive that, I mean, I've been married 21 years. We're supposed to be bored of each other. We're talking to each other. We're supposed to be role mates. And I'm going to tell you, these last 5 years have been amazing. I'm going to leave it at that. It's been amazing.
I love it. I love it. And, April added on, she said, I didn't catch him, but he had a fantasy that he fulfilled through porn. So here's the thing, April, dangerous ground. Dangerous ground. I agree with everything you said, Jeff. Porn is always such a hot topic. Like I did a show about watching porn and like the replays were on fleek. They were crazy, right? With how many people were watching it. So I know that this is still a major, major issue with couples and they're trying to figure out whether or not they should or shouldn't. And so when you use the word addicted, I mean, this is what you're saying. We don't know for sure if he is, but if he truly is addicted to watching porn, then yes, he does need to stop. Like he totally needs to stop. I mean, I think you shouldn't be watching porn anyway. That's just me. And I have another comment about porn after this, but I think he shouldn't be watching it, period. And if he is addicted, he totally needs to stop. Can he stop cold turkey? I agree, Jeff. Yes, he can, because everything starts with a made up mind, right? Everything starts with you shifting your mindset. And if you decide today that I'm not going to smoke crack again, I'm not going to have another drink again, I'm not going to go out and randomly have sex with another person, I'm not going to overeat again. If you make up your mind that that's what you're going to do, yes, you can stop, but you also need support. You also need to get help, right? You got to get into a program that can assist you so that you can have a system.
And there needs to be open and frank conversation because here's the deal. And it's an embarrassing conversation, especially for the person who walk. It's hard for them. Mm-hmm. But here's the deal. One of the things that I see when this happens is they get punished.
Right.
For whatever's going on, as opposed to getting to the root of what is going on. And when you get to the root, it may be a little bit hurtful for both parties.
Yeah.
Of what's going on. And the reason why I'm saying the conversation needs to happen is because if you go into punishment mode, the addiction gets worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I wanna finish my thought and then Roland, if please chime in. Please chime in, Roland. But the second part of that was he acted out his fantasy through watching porn, right? So here's my thing. Make your own videos.
Woo. All right.
Hello? Is this thing on? Make your own videos. You want to watch somebody having sex? Watch
and
yourself
and delete
with
it
permission from your
immediately.
spouse. With permission.
I don't know.
With permission, okay, and consent. However, make your own videos and put them up on a big screen, okay, so you can see yourself. I'm just saying that takes your relationship to a whole nother level, but you do have to make sure again that you have consent from your spouse. No filming without their permission. Go ahead, Roland. What you got?
Well, no, I was just going to say, so listen, it is very exhausting to get, to be acting out something with a person that you don't know, you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel. It's exhausting when you should be using that energy towards your spouse. And to your point, we have to create our own environment. Be addicted to your wife. Be addicted to that state of your bedroom where you're not forced to be addicted to something that you know is detrimental to your mindset, to your health, to your actions with your spouse. So we have to transform how we're looking at things. We have to take a negative thing, make it a positive thing in our own environment where it's safe. And to Jeff's point, we don't want to get punished for being honest and being transparent and being vulnerable. It is a hard conversation to have, but it has to be safe. I have to feel safe to have that conversation.
Absolutely. And I want to say, April, I see your question, what if you're not into what they acted out? And that's real. That's a real question. I'm going to say to you, you need to book a session, sis. I need to talk to you because I need to understand, what is this brother into that you're not into and why? I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, because I don't know what it is that he's into and what he was trying to fulfill through pornography. But I do want to say this to you and every other woman out there who is listening. My brother told me something when I was young, kind of messed me up a little bit, but now that I'm older and I'm mature, I understand why he said what he said. He said, whatever it is that you're not willing to do, another woman will be willing to do. Now, that is not threatening you. That is not saying, oh my God, you need to do it or he gonna go out and cheat. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are there to fulfill each other's needs, wants, wishes, desires. This is why we got married in the first place, right? That we wanted to have this guilt-free sex. I mean, that's one of the reasons. So there are things that sometimes we do have to compromise. Sometimes we do have to step outside of our comfort zones. And I'm not saying violate your morals, your ethics, your standards. I'm not saying go against something that Jesus told you to do. That's not what I'm saying. But there are times where we do have to be willing to bend and be flexible and compromise. And especially those of us who grew up in the church, because we were told that good girls don't do this. And women don't do that. Only whores do this and only whores do that. Those are the things that we were taught, and a lot of it was false teaching. So you need to book a session so I can find out what's going on really with the two of you and see if there's a way where you can meet in the middle, literally, because that's what you're trying to do, is meet in the middle, right?
There are lines, right? There's some really, really wild, crazy stuff out there that I would understand why someone would say never to. But then in the conversations we hear, sometimes it's pretty normal stuff. It's just you're uncomfortable doing it because you were raised the same way. So that's why you should definitely have a conversation with Keisha, because you might not want to type that out on the screen right here.
Right.
But like, what was he into is the real question. And is there room for that, or is that like beyond the pale?
Right.
So definitely talk to someone.
All right. So Christina Jackson said, do men ever get to a point in their lives where they feel successful? My husband has goals, but it seems like the line to his goals keeps moving. Every time he meets a goal, he seems stressed. So let's go, Jeff, and then please chime in, Roland.
Yes. So men I feel successful. I mean, I do. It is a very common goal that when you reach a goal, there's an emptiness that happens, and it's a what next, right? Learning that that's okay, learning that can now be defined into a new goal. You don't have to walk into it with stress, and it just has to be. There is a fear of what do we call it? Of being, not like, what is it called?
Like complacent, or
no, worse than that. It's like you don't belong.
Oh, imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. That's exactly what I was looking for. There's an imposter syndrome that people have that comes along with success a lot of times, and so you feel like you don't deserve this. You didn't. You maybe they don't really see you for who you are, and those fears get acted out in a way that creates stress. So I would suggest, that actually some of the stuff we deal with in Foundry. So, that's one program that he could definitely come into. We have some other things that we're thinking about creating an incubator for that too, so people can tiptoe into that. But it's about finding your security in your insecurity. It's about creating a level of certainty. And I'm going to tell you, for the men out there who are listening, there's nothing a woman loves more on a man. It's like a favorite cologne than certainty. When they know what they're doing is right, they walk in the right path, and that they feel like they belong, and they know what they're going to do, and they got everything in order. Not being in a cruel or managing or mismanaging way, but that certainty is like, it's like a cologne that your woman cannot resist. I know, because when I finally got certain in my life, things got spicy.
Well, I totally agree with you, Jeff, with everything you said, but I'm always willing to make this left turn. And this is what happens when men get to a place of feeling successful. And I hear you, Christina. What happens is we tend to forget about the family sometimes, and family is important in our success, because if it wasn't for our family, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. And what I mean by that is we have something that we're working towards and we're working for. We don't want to leave the family behind. What that means that I'm spending too much time at work, and I'm talking from a place of experience. If I spend so much time at work, if I spend so much time reaching a goal, something is going to get left undone. Mm-hmm. So I have 3 boys. I have to make sure that they know that daddy is doing something for a reason, and have a model, a blueprint for them to follow after. But I cannot leave them behind in the process. And we have to make sure that we have balance. That's what we talk about in Foundry, making sure that we have an understanding of balance, making sure that we operate in quadrants that are level and not one is above the other one, and mismanaging our time, mismanaging our successes as we reach them. So yes, it's great to have a successful goal. It's great to reach for more, because that's what we desire. As men, that's what we do. But we just have to make sure that we keep the family in front of us and make sure that they can benefit from the fruit of our labor as well.
Absolutely. I agree. I don't have anything to add. So I'm going to say again, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Don't swipe left or right. Stay put. We'll be right back with more questions. You're watching Ask the Experts.
Hey family, Hassani and Danielle here, and I want to tell you about the Phoenix Awards Gala happening on October 7th, 2023. Couples Academy is hosting its first annual Phoenix Awards Gala, a celebration of perseverance, patience, and persistence, focused on couples who have endured and overcome significant hardships in their marriages.
Nominees of this prestigious award will have come to the brink of destruction in their marriage without giving up, and are living a testimony to what is possible when 2 stand as one.
This is no ordinary gala. We are honoring 5 of the most resilient couples across the U.S. and abroad. And here's the most exciting part. You get to pick our nominees. And there's more. Wear your most exquisite gowns and black tie ensembles and prepare for a 50-foot red carpet, cocktail reception, dinner, live music, and dancing. We're going to raise the roof and the standard for marriages on October 7th, and we want you to be there.
For tickets, go to couplesacademy.org/events.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to Couples Academy.
Hello, welcome back. You're watching Ask the Experts, and I'm here with Roland and Jeff. These brothers are powerful houses today, and I get to be the lady in charge. I don't know why they did that, because they know they know where I'm gonna go every single time. But anyway, I love the fact that we got some more questions here, and I just want to highlight my brother Kenny here. What's up, Kenny? What are the percentage of kids that follow their parents' behavior in marriage/relationships, good or bad? And if it's not a healthy behavior, how do they break the cycle, and do they notice it? That is a loaded question. It is a wonderful question that you are asking. And I want to say to you that it really varies depending on the dynamic of the family, because sometimes you'll have a two-parent household, you'll have a single parent raising a kid, it could be grandparents raising them. So many different factors play into that. But I will tell you, in a traditional household, mother, father raising children, it's roughly about 60%, I would say, that would pick up those behaviors of the parents. And it may be more. This was a study, that was done several years ago. So things change. We're evolving as a people. And so things do change. But roughly, I would say about 60% of children will exhibit those behaviors. But also, how involved were those parents? Because that does play a role as well. Just because there were two parents in the home doesn't mean that they were tapped in and checked in and really engaging with their children. The question before was talking about trying to achieve goals and attain goals and reach success. And a lot of times when parents are doing that, they're often neglecting their children. And so they're not really making a huge impact in terms of how they are raised, just morally and ethically, because they're off doing something else. So many factors play into that. But I would say, generally speaking, a large percentage of children actually do repeat the behaviors of their parents, because we're all products of our environment, right? We will a lot of times carry on the same behaviors that we're seeing. On the flip side of that, we may see behaviors that we don't like, and we say, I am absolutely not going to do that when I become an adult. So I think it really just depends, and how they go about breaking the cycle and how they notice it. That there's kind of an answer in that question. They can't break it if they don't notice it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they have a tendency to not get married because they saw some horrific things in marriage and they're anti-marriage and they stay single, a lot of times they won't notice, because how do we see our flaws while we're interacting with other people? They're the ones that point out a lot of times the things that we are doing right as well as the things that we're doing wrong. They hold up a mirror, and then that's how oftentimes we do see it. But can they break it? Absolutely. They make up their mind, they want to do something different, get help, get support. Absolutely, they can.
Real quick, I would just want to add that you're still alive and still involved with those kids. And what you decide to do today can break the cycle for them. Because it's not always like every fairy tale you've ever heard had a nightmare somewhere in the middle or in the beginning. Right?
Mm-hmm.
As a child, you heard these stories. You can decide to have that wonderful fairy tale ending and start creating that now. And that'll have just as much impact as anything else, to see how it turns out, how you fix things, Kenny. And that's very relevant to you, because I believe you're the same person that I talk to on a regular basis. How you end up will change the dynamic of that.
All right, let's go to Shelby's question. She says, hey, good morning. I was wanting to ask, what can I do to help with my husband was struggling with triggers about the past. He's been upset about what I did like 10 months ago. And I think it's connected to George's question, so we'll loop them in together. Is it harder for the male to forgive a female for indiscretions? The society at large calls males who forgives wives as simps. How do you counsel men who feel they are wrong for forgiveness? Come on, Roland. Help this sister out. Help him out.
Hey, well, listen, first of all, you have to know, first of all, Shelby, I need to talk to you. You need to call me. And I'm so happy to see you on the show today. But we listen, the fact of the matter is, everything starts with a mindset. Everything, we as men have to be willing to lead our pack, and our pack is our family. And sometimes we run into brick walls. And we have to have the support to be able to break down the walls, break down the barriers. And men cry in the dark as well. Contrary to popular belief that women think that men don't cry, that is an absolute false narrative. Men do cry in the dark. And we have emotions as well. And while we have to portray being strong all the time, at times we can find ourselves in weak moments as well. However, as women or as the offended spouse, we have to know that we have a responsibility to ensure our husbands, our wives, when we have done wrong, that it won't happen again. We have to do work. And the whole thing revolves around being intentional. We have to make sure that we're being intentional in our recovery. We're being intentional about having hard conversations. And more than anything, we have to be vulnerable and transparent. And we have to take ownership for the things that we've done. So you can help him by making sure that you do your part and making sure that you reassure him that everything is well, we're moving in the right direction, and we want the same thing. You have to be striving and going after the same goal.
So,
Absolutely.
along with that imposter syndrome we discussed earlier, and tying Shelby and George together, it is because society does make men kind of hold them accountable to being a simp. But let's define one thing. Simp, cuckold, those kind of go together, where you're allowing things to happen. I want you to know that forgiveness goes along with boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to set boundaries, but forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the anger and animosity you hold towards that person holding something against them, as if that's going to keep them from moving further away from you, is a lie. It's an illusion. Anger is the poison you swallow, hoping someone else will die.
That's it.
So if you can get beyond that anger and allow for forgiveness, and at the same time, and I have to tell women this too, set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Set boundaries like, look, anything that looks, smells like, tastes like that, we ain't doing that. I'm willing to forgive you. We're going to act as if it never happened. I'm going to move forward on this, but we're going to draw some hard lines.
Mm-hmm.
And that conversation needs to be had. And
Absolutely.
until the conversation is had, it makes it very difficult for forgiveness. So forgiveness and boundaries go together.
Absolutely. 100%. I love it. All right. Reginald says, my wife and I are recovering from infidelity in our marriage, 22 years married, 28 years together total. What are some key things we can do to reconnect and be closer than what we were? So I'm going to say to you, Mr. Reginald, you all need to get in Foundations. That is what you need to do today. You need to join Foundations, because Foundations literally is teaching you how to do marriage right. It's giving you those building blocks, those foundational items that many of us missed out on. Even if you did premarital counseling, it still wasn't sufficient or adequate enough to prepare you for the day-to-day job. Right? And marriage literally has been OJT, on the job training. So Foundations is like an on the job training course to help you with your marriage. So that is what you need to do. I'm going to jump to, he said Fred, because thank you. Your name was troubling me in my spirit, Fred. So thank you. Fred says, excuse me, when I found out about my wife's affair, she never told me the truth on her own accord. I found out about checking her phone, and then she said it was just pictures. I'm not going to put everything else here. In essence, what he's saying is she trickled the truth. And that's pretty much what happened. You found out bits and pieces here and there. You had to poke and prod. You had to investigate. And I will say this, you said it's been a month since D-Day. So guess what, Fred? Unfortunately, this is common. We hear this a lot when we're working with couples who are dealing with infidelity recovery. They are basically in a process of trying to withhold as much as they possibly can to prevent the outcome that they think is going to happen in their minds. The whole trickle truth is about, if you really knew everything that took place, you're going to leave, or you're going to judge me, or we'll never get over it. Like, those are probably the thoughts that your wife is currently having. And that doesn't justify or excuse. She definitely needs to tell you the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help her God. However, she's probably afraid to do that. So you guys need to reach out sincerely and get some experts to help you navigate this process. And you're so early in, this is the perfect time to make that call so that we can walk you through how to do infidelity recovery right. Because we have so many couples that have come to us, and it's been months, it's been a year or whatever, and they're still in this stuck place because they haven't walked through the process in the proper way.
I will tell you that this is what Last Chance Weekend is built for.
I was going to say,
if you catch this thing early enough, Because I'm going to tell you what happens when you give too much distance between the problem and the truth. There's all these narratives and stories that get built up in the mind to justify why that behavior happened, and a lot of them are not true. Then you may find the truth is worse, or the truth is actually different or better, and you may find that there are things that you did that helped contribute to it that weren't necessarily an excuse. But I'm telling you right now, the closer that you get, like this is the Last Chance Weekend is for. We're doing one this weekend. Obviously, you're late for that one, but you can plan for next month. It's right around the corner. I'm telling you right now, May is going to be a big one. And I think that would do wonders for getting all the truth out and help giving you the structures to rebuild before you give too much distance between the problem and the solution.
Reginald, Fred, call in May, Last Chance Weekend. Anybody that's struggling, you have to be here, and you have more than enough time to get yourself situated. We will work with you. We will meet you where you are. Don't, a lot of times people, they don't invest in their marriages. They don't invest in themselves. We use money as the excuse as to why we can and cannot do things. We do what's important to us. And I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to get your marriage back on track. Reach out to Couples Academy. May, Last Chance Weekend is going to be huge. You want to be in the building. Please call us and let us know.
And here's the thing. For Last Chance Weekend, it's coming up. I know what you're doing. You're trying to reserve those tax funds for summer trips and summer vacations. Let me tell you something. It will be the worst vacation of your life if you do not deal with these marital issues and deal with this infidelity. We have had couples literally tell us they went on vacation. They argued the entire time because they haven't dealt with what's going on in their marriage and they haven't dealt with the infidelity. So please reach out, make that call, and let us help you so you can walk in the fullness of what God has for your marriage. So thank you all for tuning in today. We want to say thank you so much. Hope you all have a phenomenal weekend. Don't forget to pray for the couples who are there at Last Chance Weekend, as well as the wonderful practitioners. And we will see you same time, same place on Monday. You all enjoy your day and have a good weekend.